Okay, hello for the second time guys, I'm Nathan Simmons, and this, now coming around now, is Dhruv. He's basically my tech guru, my producer, my editor, and just about everything I need him to be. That sounded bad. Anyway, basically what's going to happen in this episode is we are going to work together to explain how this whole system's actually going to run. So I'm going to hand over to Dhruv now. Actually, first of all, I want to thank everyone for all the support we've got ever since the first video. It's been absolutely amazing, and I want to thank every one of you. Thanks. And to Dhruv to actually explain how you can get in touch with us.
Okay, so first of all, we have Twitter, which is at Epilepsy Q&A, capital E.
In the description.
Yeah, or just click on his face to go onto Twitter. We also have an email address, and you can either email us asking personal questions that you want to be answered from him, or just to be answered in another video. You can choose whichever one, because this is not only about videos, it's also about you. We also have a Facebook page, which is also called Epilepsy Q&A. I'll put a link in the description below. Click on my face if you want to click on that now. Open in a new tab. Okay, and yeah, so back to Nathan.
Okay, Dhruv just mentioned something there that I really want to point out. If you don't want your question answered in a video, that is absolutely fine. Just say so in your question, and I'll direct message you back with your answer if you really don't want it to be in a video. Also, you can put your name on it, and if so, Dhruv will say your name, and it just makes the answer a little bit more personal, less generalised to everyone. So if you want to, you don't have to, but if you want to make the answer a little bit more personalised, I can do that. So yeah.
Basically, we're not a company, we're just a bunch of two teenagers who are trying to help people. So it's more of a family, not a company.
Yeah, please. Hopefully we will be getting a video out soon involving two quite big friend of ours actually explaining a little bit more about ourselves, so you actually feel like you know us a little bit more, because we really don't want to be just people on a screen that are answering your questions. We want to be someone you actually feel like you can have a proper conversation with about something. Okay. So yeah, Dhruv has the first few questions, which I'm going to answer. Fire away.
Okay, so, well, we had two friends who wanted to know a few things. The first one's from one of our friends called Harry, and he asked, what's the longest you've been knocked out for, and how was your first fit caused?
How long have I been unconscious for? The longest was probably during my fifth fit, I think it was.
The IT one, isn't it?
Yeah, no, it wasn't the IT one, it was before that. And I was actually unconscious for just over 35 minutes. And after that one, I actually had to spend a night in hospital. So yeah, that was quite a large one, so 35 minutes.
And how was your fit caused, that fit?
That fit was, we don't actually know what my trigger is, so it's been a little bit hit and miss, so we think it's caused by tiredness, and basically any sort of fatigue, so like if I'm too tired and too hungry, or if I'm tired and too thirsty, stuff like that. So, yeah.
Okay, the next one is from a friend called Joe. He said, what was your first reaction when you found out you were diagnosed with epilepsy?
Honestly, my first reaction was of surprise. You know, I honestly thought people were sort of born with epilepsy. They always knew they had epilepsy, so it did strike a quite big blow. I suppose the only first time because I'd already been going to the hospital for something called dyspraxia, because Dhruv will tell you I have really, really bad
Even worse than me, and I have pretty bad handwriting.
So yeah, I'd been referred to the hospital for that, and my consultant, Dr. Atkinson, had actually said that she thought it was a mild form of epilepsy, and I didn't exactly believe her at first. And then I had my first seizure, and then it really struck home, and I was formally diagnosed, and then it was now, and then I have no idea what happened. So yeah, my first reaction was one of surprise and curiosity, I suppose. I wanted to know more about this. I wanted to know how it would affect my life. So yeah.
Okay, now he also asked a few more questions. This is quite a deep one. It says, does having epilepsy change the way you think about life?
Now this is a question I know a lot of you would be asking yourselves, and honestly, My my thought about this is epilepsy will only change your life if you allow it to. Alright, you honestly, you can carry on doing everything exactly the same with you as you have been for the rest of your life. You have just got to be a little bit more careful. You know, you've got to let people know you have epilepsy, because if you go swimming and the lifeguard doesn't know you have epilepsy, you could drown. So you need to tell people, you need to tell your friends. Like, just about everyone in our year at school knows I have epilepsy, and I've not got a problem with that. People have said to me that I am very open about my epilepsy. I wouldn't be doing this if I wasn't.
It's who you are, I guess, yeah.
Honestly, epilepsy is nothing to be ashamed of. Honestly, it's not. And it's not going to change your life in any meaningful way. You can always find a way around it. You know, Drew will tell you, I play computer games quite regularly. I watch films, I go to the cinema. It really doesn't make a difference. I've just got to be a tiny bit more careful. I've got to be a bit more aware than everyone else. That's the only difference. I really can do everything anyone else can.
Yeah, there was one more. He said, how have you learned to live with epilepsy, and what sacrifices you have to make in order to learn to live with it, if so, yeah.
How did I learn to live with epilepsy? I suppose it was just getting my head round it, really. I sort of had to think, okay, I have epilepsy, how can I deal with this? And when I go to the cinema, if my eye starts fluttering, then I wear an eye patch, and that usually stops that problem. I've got tablets I can take, so I've sort of had to work with the consultant to get the meds right. What sacrifices have I had to make? Honestly, very, very little. I've been very lucky. I haven't actually had to give up that much. So, you know, people treat me just the same as they did, you know, 10 months ago before I was diagnosed. So, you know, I still dance. I've carried on with everything. So honestly, I've not had to give up that much. So I've been lucky in that respect. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, thank you guys so much for watching. It means a lot to us, especially him, that you can watch these videos. Please don't forget to like, subscribe, even add it to your favorites. Please just
share the video, put it on your Facebook, put it on Twitter, stuff like that. Also, just let your, if you know anyone who has epilepsy, tell them to watch our last video and subscribe to the channel, because we can help them out. And even if you feel someone doesn't know about epilepsy, refer them here. We can help them out. So yeah, thanks for watching, guys, for the second time now, and ta-ra from the two of us.